windows will take on this craft right here.
Yes.
Astronauts look through windows while docking with other spacecraft, so they want the best visibility possible. So, I mean, if I understand this, the astronauts love this.
They love it.
They love this. They want huge panoramic views, big panes of glass. They want to see everything.
Yes.
Why is that a problem?
Well, the problem is the glass is actually heavier than the metal. So the more glass we add, the heavier it gets. And that becomes a problem for launch and then re-entry.
So your job is actually get them maximum visibility, but make it as light as possible.
Yes. And Danny, you're cutting this piece right here. It wraps right around the outside of the window.
Got it. So basically, it's
Cut on the line.
cut in the line. Can't this stuff all be automated on the computer, maybe more efficiently?
Well, that's expensive. It's cheap just to buy an X-Acto knife and trace the line.
So basically, despite the technology, despite the budget of
That goes to show how expensive this stuff is.
it's simple, fast, and inexpensive. So should we install something?
Yep.
You actually have made a full.
Imagine what it would take, how much it would cost to do this sort of thing. Make one of these sort of pieces out of 3D print.
Here, and the question is, does the
To buy 3D printers to do that.
Did you see that bit in the paper? They found a gun that's a fully workable gun that's been made
So here we are. And so we're
using
trying
a
to figure out
3D
if
kit,
I can buy
3D
part of this
printing
thing,
kit,
Can I see?
and it
the
actually
space station
fires
without
fires
the-
bullets and
So
everything.
are
And
we
they've made
liking this?
a police have found
What
it.
I can tell now is
It's
look
in
up
the
at
paper this
window,
morning.
I can look at my display, but I still can't tell. I don't know what it looks
These
like out in space.
kind of people are absolutely mental.
It's unconclusive.
More testing.
Jesus.
More testing.
What do you think of the possibility of that?
So you've built now
How many guns
another
can be made?
demo.
Yes.
That's just one rifle.
Without going to a gang leader and saying, "Can I buy a gun from you?" when you can make your own.
So
How
this
many
is
guns
now
will that bring
what
onto
we're
the
doing
market?
now. If that piece of steel in that window will block our view when we're docking this thing.
Yeah, take a seat.
Alright, so we are now strapped in, got my piloting sticks, and we're taking off. There we are, leaving Kennedy Space Center, leaving Earth, and now we're in outer space. Look at that. That's Earth. The actual shape of this window, the thickness of that steel, the way this glass works, this is what the astronauts will literally see. The simulator helps test the Orion's windows during difficult tasks like docking with the space station. So we are now in front of the ISS. But right now, I need to dock by actually using my eyes.
Use your eyes and give us forward thrust.
It actually is incredibly difficult to see the docking pole.
Yes, it is very tough. And then now you can see the piece that you actually cut. Now it's blocking the field of view.
It is a little bit, isn't it? How are we looking? How are we
Almost perfect alignment. You're 10 feet away.
We're right there, we're right there. 5 feet. We're right there. There you go. And we're in. We are docked. And the question is, during that parking job, did that piece of metal in this window provide me enough visibility?
I don't know, did it?
Oh, no, it's hard.
So we're going to go back to the drawing board.
It's amazing. I'm gonna go fly us home.
Okay.
But even flying home to Earth will present the Orion one of its most difficult challenges. Surviving the 3,000 degree re-entry through the Earth's atmosphere. It's a battle the space shuttle has been fighting for nearly 30 years. The NASA orbiter is designed to take on an amazing range in temperature, from negative 250 degrees in outer space to over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit when it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. The shuttle's first line of defense is a thermal protection system. The key element? 24,000 tiles. Why are there tiles on the shuttle?
The tiles are necessary to protect the orbital vehicle from the extremes of temperature it sees during the ascent.
And the crew.
It was a couple of the tiles
When the
that
shuttle hits the Earth's atmosphere,
failed
traveling at
when that
17,500
space shuttle blew up
miles per hour,
with those 6 people on board.
presses the
Do
air
you remember that? You probably don't.
to 3,000
A long time
degrees,
ago.
enough to melt metal. To keep
When
the
they looked
shuttle
at the
from
film of the takeoff,
these tiles act
they
like
realised that two of the tiles had come
thanks
off.
to their material composition.
This looks like Kleenex that's been through the washing machine, but is in actuality about 1 to 3 micron, very, very high purity glass. It's fired at very high temperature and forms a rigid material. Feels and looks a lot like styrofoam, but will actually go to extremely high temperatures.
So in principle, this really is the same thing as rigid insulation in the walls of a house, but an incredibly high quality version of it.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Like insulation in your house, these tiles are made from silica fibers, which conduct heat very slowly. But at 1/25th diameter of a human hair, these fibers are so small that heat can barely pass along them as it tries to spread through the tile. The powerful heat resistance is layered along the bottom of the orbiter. But like pieces of a tightly fitting puzzle, almost every tile is unique in shape and size. So to replace a damaged tile from a previous mission, we're carving an exact copy.
So what was once a larger billet has been whittled down to the exact shape of the tile.
That's correct.
And now what do we do with this tile now?
We take it through and we apply the borosilicate glass coating to it.
13
Well, of course,
layers
yeah.
of ceramic paint will cover the foam tile and seal it from
Think
damage.
And now I'm going to put this tile right here. And that tile's going to stay here for the next 3 hours, where that glass coating is going to dry. And then when it's ready, we're going to take it, put it into a kiln and fire it to 2,000 degrees. Okay, so we're going to load this puppy in. So we're going to take this piece, which is now glass coated.
Careful with that coating.
Careful. How can anyone be careful or dexterous when they're wearing Andre the Giant's clothes? I mean, seriously. And there it is. So that's now going to go cook for 95 minutes.
While this tile is starting to heat up, another set is coming out.
That's very hot, fellas. Let's bring my shoes.
That's just 2,000 degrees.
Very hot.
The re-entry is
Both of these guys are
way hotter than that.
burning hot. How hot is it on the inside of that?
That's at 2,200 degrees.
Unbelievable.
Jesus.
Look at that. That's over 2,000 degrees on the
That
inside.
shows that the coating is working.
And I'm capable of holding it. I mean, this is exactly
Well, that's a miracle, though, isn't it?
the orbiter can do what it does, experience the heat that it does, and not transmit that temperature to the inside of the aircraft.
The tiles are strong against heat.
There you go.
They can be easily crumbled by hand.
So it works.
And if they're damaged, the orbiter could be in jeopardy during landing.
I would have thought every re-entry, after every mission there and back from the space station, it must get checked over. In case if any of them's broken, so has to get replaced straight away before it goes out again.
Well, the spacecraft I'm thinking of went up, and everybody was watching it. It went up, and then it
The
just
NASA
blew
space
up,
shuttle will be officially retired in
and all
2010.
that was left was smoke.
The new Ares rocket program is not going to be ready.
Some people
until
say
2015,
that the people
meaning there's going to be a 5-year
came down
window
in their
when
seats,
NASA has no
still
way
strapped to
get
their
their
seats.
astronauts
Other
up to the
people
space
said they
station.
were
There's a
incinerated.
problem. There might be
Um,
a solution. Located just 3 miles away from Kennedy
But
Space Center,
when they looked into,
private company
what
called
went wrong,
SpaceX is
they
answering
had
NASA's
this
call.
film showing the rocket just leaving off the ground, and these tiles were. Well, I can't remember whether they were missing or they were cracked. There's something about tiles.
First ever private company to act as a shuttle service for NASA's astronauts. That's correct. Now, if they didn't use your rocket, the alternative would be to go to Russia?
Right, which currently is a very expensive option.
Russia would charge NASA a whopping $50 million to send astronauts up to the space station on their Soyuz rockets. But SpaceX thinks they can do it for less than
That's the rocket they're using now.
by keeping their
SpaceX.
operations efficient and their launch pads simple.
Now, Brian, having been to NASA, this doesn't look like
Show what this is.
typical launch pad.
No, we've taken this down to what we call a clean pad concept.
So instead of having a big launch tower, that huge rotating service building you see at NASA, all that infrastructure is gone. Instead, you're going to have an empty pad, do all your processing in the hangar,
Roll out in a matter of hours, go vertical and launch.
so this is like a lean and mean operation.
That is definitely a lean and mean operation.
One of the most critical tasks that SpaceX must accomplish before launch is to fuel the rocket.
What's your time,
And they have a
Robin?
plan to do it in less than an hour.
That spear
Do you want
behind
me?
me is
Do you want me to do you any more food to take with you or not?
cold liquid
I mean, you'll be back by 5 because it'll be dark, won't it?
Now, your experience
SpaceX,
Then I'll do you a
they claim they
dinner.
can power up their rocket in 30 minutes.
What's your